I dread cocktail parties. When I'm faced with introducing myself to someone, I cringe. Because as soon as I tell them I'm an aging specialist, or worse yet, an aging researcher, their eyes dart around the room, looking for anyone who can help them make the great escape from the most boring person in the world. I felt this same exact way before I entered the field, but I didn't need to. Let me poll you guys. I'd like you to raise your hands. These are 2 stock portfolio options. If you'd like to choose the one on the left, raise your hand. If you'd like the one on the right, raise your hand. Yeah, me too. What I just showed you weren't stock portfolio options, they're our lifespan. The one on the left shows our physical lifespan, a sharp increase and a steady decline. This is scary. This is why people run away from aging specialists. The one on our right is our emotional lifespan. This has a steady increase, but no decline. This is what gets me excited to be an aging specialist. And this is what we have to look forward to. Did you know that we can expect to be happier as we get older? Or that the phrase, "'tis better to give than to receive," is actually true? Or that meaningful connections lead to better physical and emotional well-being? Research shows these to be true. We are wasting our most precious natural resource. It isn't oil, coal, or gas. It's people. People who've honed their skills, talents, and knowledge over a lifetime. It's us. Mentoring wasn't even on my radar a few years ago. It wasn't until I put together mentorship with a life stage that we hit in midlife called generativity. Generativity was coined by Erik Erikson, the developmental psychologist, and it means that we care for others without expecting anything in return. We're leaving a legacy. It's mentoring. I've also spoken with many, many people. I've spoken with lawyers, 4-star generals, filmmakers, and grandmas, and they all mentor. Some do it sooner, and some do it later. And we all know those who haven't reached this stage. They're bitter, and their lives don't have any meaning. Think of Ebenezer Scrooge from Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. He was a self-made guy who seemingly had everything. He was rich, he lived in a mansion, he had servants taking care of his every need, but he was miserly with his possessions and his emotions. It wasn't until he made meaningful connections and became generative that he experienced joy. I call this the Ebenezer effect, and this is how it works in real life too. I really learned about mentorship in the most unusual place, at a hackers convention. Picture a remote wooded resort in Silicon Valley with tricked out Teslas in the parking lot and techies riding hoverboards to the buffet line. I even hopped on a hoverboard. It was a wonderland where top innovators came together to share ideas. This was the last place I thought I'd crack the code on mentorship. But here's what I learned. To create and innovate requires more than one person in a garage with an idea. Even Steve Jobs had mentors. I also learned that we need meaningful connections. I met Becky Bass, a former NSA director, and she had a slow Southern drawl that wrapped around you like a hug. And her mentees adored her. They called her Mama Bear. Well, this Mama Bear took down notorious bad guys for a living with the help of her mentees. And when she retired, she made mentorship a huge part of her life because she craved the connections that she had with her mentees. The inventor of the firewall, Bill Cheswick, said to me, "We need to get old farts like myself into the classroom to teach fourth graders quantum mechanics." He desperately wanted to mentor, but he just didn't know how to connect with mentees. This was an epiphany for me. I realized we needed to bring together mentors with mentees, STEM mentors who could build upon our science and tech boom. So in 2017, I founded the Mentor Project, and we bring mentors like Bill into the classrooms to teach kids for free. The thrill for the mentors is that they get to see the excitement on the kids' faces when they're showing them what their expertise is. They're leaving a legacy. The thrill for the kids is that they're being exposed to things they've never even thought about. Mentors come into the classrooms in person or via video chat. This way, whether they're on the East Coast, West Coast, North, South, urban or rural, everyone has access to a mentor. We all know the benefits of having a mentor, but now we know the benefits of being a mentor. Bill has been in the classroom and has presented to more than 100 kids in just a couple months. Imagine the millions of kids who can have access to STEM. Imagine if we saw older adults not as a burden with nothing to offer, but instead as someone who can teach quantum mechanics to a fourth grader, aerospace to a sixth grader, and engineering to a high schooler. Imagine if we took advantage of our most precious natural resource, us, and all of our varied skills. So the next time you meet an aging specialist, rather than run away, lean in. Thank you.